Hello, everybody, and welcome to WTS 249. My name's Danny Murray.
I'm Graham Merrigan, one away from 250.
Indeed, yeah. That's a milestone, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're flying by, Graham. Even with the long gaps that we're taking during the summer for our breaks and whatnot these days. As we get old and we slow down.
Our hormonal breaks.
Yeah. How are you keeping, man?
Yeah, all good. You got a COVID test, did you?
I did get a COVID test, yeah. We'll talk about that in a minute. But introduce our guest, because I'm delighted we have him back. It's been a while.
Who is our guest?
I was going to ask you to do it, but do you not want to do it?
No, I don't like him.
That's fucking harsh, isn't it?
I'm only joking. I'm only joking. It's my old mate, Jumpers for Goalposts founder, Keith Kelly. Yeah.
Keith, welcome back to the podcast.
Keith, is this your hat trick?
No, it's only number 2.
No,
yeah. So
yeah, we've done a live one. Yeah,
we've done a live one.
Yeah.
Jumpers
Yeah,
for
this is the hat
Goalposts.
Two and a half.
Yeah.
We said we'd invite you back on because loads has happened with the initiative Jumpers for Goalposts since then. Loads has happened because there was a time where you thought you'd run its course and now it's alive again.
Yeah, it's kicking on again. We're moving along. I don't know. Are we in? Are we starting? Are we live? Are we rocking?
We're not live. It's recording.
We're away. Like the show was yours, Keith. The show was yours.
Yeah. There was a few moments, Graham, when I thought, it possibly had run its course. Do you know? I had a few, 2 or 3 organisations maybe over the last 2 years, sort of sniffing about and being curious, could they get involved and stuff like that. So I had 2 or 3 discussions. One of them seemed like a goer. I suppose, to be honest with you, built me up as big as a house, and within 2 weeks came back and the CEO had jumped ship, and just that was it, end of story. So I became very deflated, because you get very excited when someone shows a bit of interest in you, a bit of value and stuff like that, and wants to hear about your story. So I suppose initially I came home to the house and told everyone and yourself and that, exciting times ahead. And then the carpet was just pulled from under me within 2 weeks. So it took me a little time to get over that,
Sorry, I thought Danny was going to say something, but he
was
he was rubbing his nose with his, because he has a head cold. We thought he had COVID, did we, Danny?
Well, I'm waiting on the results, so I don't know yet, but we're not here.
Do you feel like you have COVID?
I feel like I have a head cold, but they're saying that has all the hallmarks of this Delta, aren't they? So we'll see what happens, but I feel grand.
You look grand.
You look great.
Thanks.
Yeah, you look great, actually.
You look fresh.
Thanks.
You look fabulous. Fabulous.
I had my monthly shower before this, so probably, there's probably a bit of cleanliness. Keith, with Jumpers for Goalposts, and when we talked to you last time, kind of you shared your own story with us and all that sort of stuff, and that's episode 131 for anyone who wants to go back and have a listen, and I'd highly recommend it. But Jumpers for Goalposts has kind of, any time I've been fortunate enough to go along to one of them, I've left the feeling 20 feet tall and buzzing. It's been brilliant. So when you're saying that, people showed an interest in it, I'm not surprised. And then for one reason or another, obviously it maybe didn't go the way you wanted it to. But in general, the beauty of Jumpers for Goalposts surely gives you a lift as well, does it? Every time you're heading along to one of the events, like.
Oh, do you know what? It's brilliant. But not because of this, but I'm off the gargle and stuff 7 years come this Christmas. So a lot of times I wouldn't see a lot of people from one end of the week to the other, or one end of the month to the other, because I don't frequent the pubs or anything anymore. And with COVID as well, I suppose. Look, we've all sort of missed out on people. So this gives me an opportunity to see all my mates and people I don't even know, all in the one area. And we're just up for the crack. Do you know what I mean? We have some great guests coming on Sunday. Two Rovers boys, Dylan Watson, Neil Ferrugia, who Graham will probably know more than me. Stephanie Roach is coming, Ricky Sadler, Ian Morris to Shelbourne.
Yeah.
You know, he only had to win in the league. I did be in touch with Ian a lot throughout, not a lot, but occasionally throughout the year. Always do art and fire. Really good person. Shamrock Rovers have been brilliant as well, do you know? So I don't know what it is, Danny. People are curious, and look, we all watch a match and we still want to be out kicking the ball. So people just rock along for it. Listen, I'll be in there for 10 minutes on Sunday, and then I'll step out and I'll be talking to people on the sideline and having the crack and meeting people. It sort of brings the community together, doesn't it? You know.
That's it. So you mentioned Sunday, so this kind of coincides with World Mental Health Day and all that. But it's a return to the Brack again for Sunday. What's that instead of
HQ?
HQ. And I've recently had a series of meetings with good people from Mental Health Ireland, a huge organisation. So we've been exploring the possibility of running sort of a national campaign with Jumpers for Goalposts, see can we get funding and stuff, see is it sustainable. And the meetings have gone really, really well. And there's a couple of people from Mental Health Ireland coming out on Sunday to see what it's all about, because they've been watching from a distance over the last number of years. And like everybody else, they're usually curious as to how myself and Graham and Mero and Mick or whatever can mobilise 50, 60 people on a Sunday morning. Do you know what I mean? Because there's not many people can do that.
Absolutely. You know? Yeah. And that's, as I was saying, kind of the couple of them that I've been fortunate enough to get along to, it's been an unreal turnout at them. And even the one most recently, and I know, Mero, we talked about it on a podcast episode kind of straight after it, whatever. It was the first time that I'd been around people in the whole COVID situation. It was the first time that I got to see Mero in I don't know how long. It was the first time that I got to see yourself and you know, and Gar Mackle and kind of it was just brilliant. It was a tonic. It was a genuine tonic that I didn't realise I needed the boost as much as I did. You know what I mean? Because I think we're probably all a little bit guilty of we've probably got a little bit comfortable with retreating into ourselves over the last 18 months, you know. And something like Jumpers for Goalposts was, and I don't get on the pitch and kick a ball around. Those days are well past me. But just being there and just, you know, getting involved in a bit of crack, having a chat with people, seeing people you hadn't seen in so long, and the atmosphere and everything, it's just such an absolute boost. And I'm not surprised at all that you're getting 40, 50, 60 people at a Keith. I'm really not. Like,
and the thing it is about it there, Danny, is that you said there, like, I think you won't mind me saying, and it's fair to say that you don't have current mental health issues. You don't have anxiety. Like, what I'm saying is, you're not going to the Jumpers for Goalposts to fix something, you know. Whereas
no.
Sometimes in the Jumpers for Goalposts inbox, we'll get lads message saying how much the day previous affected them, wouldn't we, Keith? And it's like they're gearing up 2-3 weeks in advance for this just little kickabout, old school kickabout in a field. And I just think it's lovely what you've said there, when you're not seeking anything, but when there are local lads, definitely, that we know, that are seeking stuff, and that hour and a half, they feel great. There's camaraderie. Yeah, that word. Daddy always gets me at the words. But there is that as well, you know, and it's very fulfilling, but it's also very sad, I think, that there are still people out there that kind of feel vulnerable or lonely, or, you know, and that for that hour and a half that they go down to the end field, they feel, jeez, that was great. Jeez, when are we doing it again? You know, and there's lads that have even come up to Keith and says, you know, any chance we can get the goalposts or go in the all-weather of Ballybrack? And we're like, it's fucking Jumpers for Goalposts.
Like someone said to me during the week, what are you doing at Sunday at 11 o'clock? And I said, boy, what time would suit you? Well, Saturday afternoon. And I said, well, that might suit you. It won't suit someone else. You know, you can't, you just have to pick a time and go with it.
Can't please everybody.
Oh, exactly. That's it.
And it suits us. We walk the dog at that time.
Exactly. Now, and I know the young buckos, Arzo and Carl, will probably give me a bit of trouble Sunday morning because they say they'll be at every game and they've turned up. Yeah, they've turned up a few times, but they're young and I understand that. You know what I mean? But hopefully now with the two Rovers boys, and you know, we've lots of prizes. Signed Rovers jersey, signed Shell's jersey, you know, to entice people up off the couch who ordinarily mightn't bother. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like Stephanie Roach popping along, Richie Sadler can't play beyond the sideline. You know, people like that entice people to get up and do something. Do you know what I mean?
Where were you hoping to bring it, Keith? Like, I know we had the pre-COVID, we were planning the 32 county thing. So, and obviously COVID made a shite of that. And then you're thinking about kind of just, right, it's ran its course. So pre-COVID, where were you hoping to bring it? And now with Mental Health Ireland, where are you hoping to bring it?
Pre-COVID, we were just on the cusp here, 2 months, month and a half away of running a national campaign, getting a game on in every county in Ireland and possibly in Dublin and other counties. There might have been 3 or 4 games going on the same day. So at the minute now with Mental Health Ireland, they have huge scope. They have development officers in most counties in Ireland.
Well,
they have the capacity that if we can get a game of Jumpers for Goalposts. Now, this is my idea. We haven't trashed this one out yet. If we can get Jumpers for Goalposts on a day, something like the Darkness into Light on a pick a day, and let's run it on the whole day. And it's about obviously people coming to have the crack and meet up with people and share stories, but it's also about the people who may be vulnerable. Mental Health Ireland have all these links that will be in their own communities that maybe I couldn't offer people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're giving me that support. Do you know? So listen, we're aiming big. I have the very first fundraiser is on next week. Gary Seary, you know Gary, Graham, good friend of mine. He comes to all the games. So he's a North Sider, unfortunately.
Son's a Dundalk fan, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. But him and Paul have come to all the games, and even that for Gary has been a great thing. You know, travelling out from the North Side with Paulie in the car of a Sunday, and they're able to have that chat removed from the house and father and son thing, and out on the pitch together. But Gary is doing a 24-hour cycle out in Mondello Park on the 16th of, I think it's the 16th of October. And that is going to be tied in with mental health. So any funds raised goes into mental health. And that's going to be a seed for Jumpers for Goalposts to try and let's get us out on the road. Let's get started with something. And obviously, Mental Health Ireland are going to be going to the likes of NOSP and stuff like that, looking for funding. But they're doing lots of stuff in the background that I can't do. Danny, my skill set isn't, you know, all data and statistics and can it work here? Can it work there? Is it sustainable? But I've had great chats. I'd done a presentation for them out in Minute there a couple of weeks ago, and I hadn't done any facilitation work in 2 years with COVID and stuff. So I'd done it visually through art. The journey with Jumpers Goalposts right from the very start, and I was able to interpret it my way through art because I learned visually, so that's the way I do things. I understand things better, and they loved it. Do you know? So yeah, it's a bit. To be honest with you, it's a little bit overwhelming because you have this idea, right, and you have to get kicked in the nuts a few times over the last few years, so you get a bit deflated. You think it may be parking, it has run its course, and then it takes up that energy again. But when someone actually puts their hand on your shoulder and says, listen, we're going with you, we believe in you, it can be a little bit daunting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can be.
But it could be nice as well, though.
Listen, when someone shows value in you,
Exactly, yeah.
it's brilliant. I mean, they've invested in me to go back to college and stuff to train up as well as a mental health and wellbeing life coach at the minute.
Amazing.
So I can't thank them enough for that, you know. So they see a value in me, and look, it's a co-production. Mental health are all about, or they're all about co-production. So they're not trying to steal this on me, and I'm not trying to barge into them. We're going to do it together, holding hands together all the way, and see what happens. You know,
it's great though, because like I was kind of laughing, Mero, as you were saying it. Like, people would kind of message yourself or Keith and be like, "Oh, we're not doing it on the Astro. You know, do it with the goalposts." You know, and like it's, and I mean this in the nicest possible way. Its brilliance is in its simplicity.
Yeah,
it's fucking foolproof. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely brilliant. And I think, and now, look, I know, yeah, like, lads would like to have the net because everybody wants to rifle one in top corner and all that. But like, when you're saying there that, like, you know, your mental health Ireland and you are doing it as a partnership, it'll be hand in hand, you supporting them supporting you, kind of thing. That to me just adds to that brilliant simplicity. You know what I mean? As you said, they're going to do all the background stuff that maybe you can't do, and they're going to offer different support services to people who are vulnerable and might need those support services. And it's fucking brilliant. It's so organic how all this has happened, man. And like, I don't know, I feel privileged to kind of know you and see this thing grow, albeit from a little bit of a distance and whatever. But like, Jesus, the work that's gone into it and where it's going sounds absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I often doubt myself, Danny, and think, you know, am I going too far? Am I pushing this too far? And then someone like Graham or Rory or Mick would say to me, "Why not you? Do you know, have some confidence. You're always trying to build other people up and their confidence. Have confidence in yourself." Now, I do have confidence in myself, but when it starts expanding into national campaigns and look, it can get a little bit daunting, you know.
Yeah. Do you get a bit of imposter syndrome from time to time, Keith?
Yeah. Of course you do. I think everybody
Who doesn't?
Everybody does.
I'm still waiting for my job to fucking find me out. They'll be like, you're doing this for 7 years, man.
What have you done?
Because I often, if I'm talking to people, I often, like, someone says, "Oh, it's a big game on it. How do you do it?" Now, although there is a little bit of work behind it, more than a little bit, but generally, all I do is put out a yoke on Facebook. I go over a little bit early, throw the jumpers down, and you know, it is as organic as that. There's no big, you know, lads don't have to go training twice a week and turn up, and you're not playing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is as organic as that.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I remember I was laughing because when I was talking to one of the lads about the last one before, and they kind of said to me, they were like, "So is it like a big five-a-side or whatever?" And I kind of laughed and I said, "You know what? It's much better than that." But he had in his head, like, back in the day, we used to rent the Astro up in the leisure centre, and the worst thing about it was trying to get the fiver off everyone at the end. And he had
that becomes a problem, Danny.
Oh, look, yeah, that's it.
You know what I mean? And this is totally free. But what like, I'm not one for plugging stuff, but I would like, I hope that everyone who's experienced what Jumpers Goalposts can give people, to maybe hop onto Gary's link and throw him a fiver. Do you know what I mean? This guy's cycling for 24 hours non-stop. He's going to have a sore butt for weeks.
Saddle rash will be unreal.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's for him to believe in me. It sort of adds a little bit of pressure onto me then, do you know what I mean?
Not at all.
No, it does, because he's, you know, it's a huge undertaking he's doing, you know?
Yeah. But Gary's a great guy as well. And
the only pressure
and he appreciates you as well.
His fires, lads. That's it. That's all, you know?
Yeah.
You're only saying that because you're a TV star.
Yeah. Fast and loose with that term there. That term. Where can people donate to Gary Keith? It's on
the Jumpers for Goalposts Facebook page. It's on some of the links on my Twitter page and stuff like that. And it's on my own personal Facebook page.
We'll share it out as well, Mero. You'll pop it up. You have the link there handy. So
yeah.
I just think, because as Graham says, and yourself, Danny, 99.9% of the time, stuff we do, it's all our own time. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, I fucking love it. I love seeing people being happy and buzzing before the game and buzzing after, and lads who didn't turn up maybe saying, "Jeez, I should have came." I said, "Well, listen, come to the next one." So this is the one time I'm asking people to just a fiver, even if you can throw it onto Gary's link. That's all. And what that'll go towards is a pot, so we can have this national campaign of Jumpers for Goalposts everywhere. Do you know what I mean? And if people are struggling, maybe Mental Health Ireland can link them in with services that they need to go to. Do you know what I mean?
see.
And also, what we're talking about is if there is games going on in different counties, Mental Health Ireland are going to give people mentoring. Do you know what I mean? So everyone's a win-win in this. Do you know?
Absolutely. During the pandemic, obviously we had you on before, and it's well documented about some of mental health battles that you've had. How have you found the pandemic?
I suppose, Graham,
we were living in each other's pockets for a lot of the pandemic.
Yeah. I would have. There's certain times of the year I would have a dip for a week or 2 or 3. And that's I'd be telling you live. I told you otherwise. I'll give you an instance even the other day, and it just makes me so much aware of that. Maybe when I am a little bit low, it's a good. I fully understand now. I was going out the garden the other day with Duke, and my next door neighbour, Les, he was on the far side of the wall, but he was down doing something with his gate, so I couldn't see him. So when I went out my gate, he went, "Whoa!" And he fucking frightened the fucking living daylights out of me now. So I understand there's a little bit of me post-traumatic stress kicking in, do you know what I mean? So I was feeling a little bit low maybe that week. But it's good that I recognise that now, and I know what stuff to do, and I know how to cope. But yeah, listen, I firmly believe I don't think anyone went through COVID without taking a dip. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you lost your grandparents, Graham, and you've had a tough time as well. So you understand what it's like, and you've sought out help and stuff like that. And I know you're a great support for the people around you and within your family as well. Do you know? They would look to you for a bit of support, a bit of common sense and stuff like that, because you've a good head on young shoulders. You have,
yeah, sensible shoulders.
I don't know, but you know yourself. You do have a good head.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose as well, going through winter for me last year, obviously, what I went through, and then going in, I found going into a dark winter in COVID very, very, very overwhelming. And I remember ringing you. We went for a walk and we discussed it. And then I remember signing up for the counselling, and it was bereavement counselling, and it was honestly now, it was over the phone, and there's people that I would have spoke to that would have said, "Oh no, over the phone counselling wasn't for me. It didn't work or whatever." I don't know if I've talked about this in the podcast before. Anyway, but the 9 sessions I did over the phone, I felt they were just the most beneficial thing I've ever done in my life, as well as spilling me guts out to my mum and dad, to my brother, as well as spilling me guts out to Danny, as well as spilling me guts out to you on our walks. It was like the counsellor just put structure on something, and structure on my thoughts. And by no means was I in a very dark hole. I was just sad. I was just overwhelmed. I didn't feel I was in the depths of despair or depression, but I did consciously I feared going down that road. Not that I was expecting to go down that road, but I felt if I was proactive in this situation and reaching out for that through my GP and getting the counsellor for 8-9 weeks, I felt I needed to do that. And after week 3, I felt like I was hanging up after the session, and I was thinking, I can't wait till next week's session. And then the night before every session, you have to fill out a questionnaire. And sometimes when I got the initial text message every night, the night before, every week, you're kind of going, oh, brilliant, I've got that session tomorrow. But I don't know whether this is imposter syndrome, but when you're filling out the questionnaire, one of the questions is, how many times have you felt suicidal this week? And I was like, oh, why am I doing this? I've never felt suicidal. Why am I partaking in this? Do you know? And for those 30 seconds that you're filling out that questionnaire, you feel like I'm wasting this time on somebody else because of budget cuts or because of whatever. Someone more in need might need this, and I'm taking up their time. Do you know that way? I did feel that bit going through it. And then obviously the next day when she'd ring me and we'd do it, it was just, I don't know, I just felt brilliant after. I felt brilliant after the 9 weeks, and I felt like I didn't need any more. I felt like I was given the tools, I was given the structure. There was milestones that I reached in that 9 weeks where that was the end of January till March that I did it. And prior to it, I wasn't able to drive past my grandparents' house on the Whiteville Road. I ended up going Ashlawn Way to Granville Road to get to the M50. And by the end of the session, I no longer had the anxiety to turn left at the lights. I was able to go up past. Now, I've no reason to be in the house anymore, so I won't be there. And that's just my own decision. And there's a lot of the stuff that she said that you have to look out for yourself as opposed to others. Look after yourself first and then try and help others if you feel the need. But yeah, I just felt on cloud 9. Now, I don't know whether because the latter half of those sessions fell at a time when the days were getting brighter. And that might have had who cares exactly, because there was a time in certainly mid-December, late December, where I just felt completely overwhelmed. It was 2 things that have happened to me. I went through 2 or 3 laser therapies as well in the hospital.
Well, Christmas was a time for you and your granddad and your granny. That was your special time, really, wasn't it?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, it was. And even like, we're not that far away from Christmas this year, and I don't really want to know about it, and that's okay as well. Like, I'll do what I want, and no doubt I will. I'm not saying I won't enjoy it this year. I'm still kind of meh about it, but I'll definitely enjoy it in years to come. But I just went on a waffle there. I don't know what I was trying to get out of that, but it was, I suppose, you're saying there that, you know, people can use me or that have sensible shoulders, but you know, I had my vulnerabilities last year and I reached out, and I think the best thing that I ever done was go to my GP, and when I was spilling my guts out, he just said, Graham, you need to talk to somebody and I'm going to sign you up for it. And he got that prognosis from me just sitting in with him for 10 minutes. And again, it was the best thing I've done. And I would strongly, particularly if you're back-to-back passings and one is out of the blue, and you're trying to make sense of everything. And, you know, the counsellor asked me what was I looking for, and I said I want to avoid the black hole, and I want to understand bereavement as much as I can and stuff like that. And she was just brilliant. She's brilliant. Trained people can just put structure. You can talk to your friends, you can spill your guts out on dog walks, and it does momentarily help you. But when you talk to somebody that's trained, they can just put structure and it can make sense. And like, there was times where you're hanging up the call and you're literally bouncing. You're like, that was fucking deadly. And I can't even explain specifically why it was excellent. My feeling, after an hour talking to her was just one of, I can't wait till next week. It was excitement, like.
And that's a little bit getting back to what Danny was saying. In some ways, that's what Jumpers for Goalposts gives people. Not that talking experience as much, but that bouncing feeling when they leave after being amongst all their old pals and stuff like that. And just having chin wag, and as you say, I hadn't seen Gary, I hadn't seen you, Danny, pre-COVID until the last game, and even my youngest lad, Rowan, thinks the sun shines out of both your asses. But he says to me, and he's not really into football and stuff, but thankfully, Jumps for Goalposts again can bring him over towards me a little bit, and he's not into me. And Jesus, to see Danny over there. So everyone gets a lift, no matter what age you are. Just because you were there, Danny, he got a lift. The sort of way. Seeing Danny.
Don't be giving Danny a big head.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, them little things.
Absolutely.
They matter to people,
Absolutely, yeah.
It's gas you say that about Rowan, right? Because I follow him on Instagram, and he does this thing quite often where he puts up a song of the day on Instagram. And I love it. Because I wouldn't have the same music taste as him. So he puts up a lot of different kind of things. Yeah. And I love when I get it, because I'm like, I must give that a quick blast and see what it's going. And then every so often he'll put up something that, like I think there a while ago he put up, it was a System of a Down song. I mean, brother loved System of a Down.
Chop Suey, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Chop Suey, yeah. Or Toxicity, I can't remember which one, but it's like, fuck, I haven't had...
Yeah, it would be stuff I wouldn't recognise.
Yeah, see, Rowan's a very talented guitar player as well.
He's actually out now. He's like Neil L. the young ones at the minute with his hair. But he's over in me nephew Billy's, and him and two other, there's four of them all together. So they're over there gigging. They're getting ready for the gig. One of the lads works in a pub, and they're going to allow them to do 4 tunes.
No way!
Yeah. So,
when is this?
I would say possibly 4 to 6 weeks. So,
what pub?
I don't know. He told me. I think it's a pub in Delgany. I'm not sure. I'd say it'll probably close down after the lads get there. Because I tell you, God knows what. You like Sid Vicious in the gang, But it's great. And that's what I'm saying. Graham was talking about that lift he got off the council. My young lad seeing Danny over at the game, because he obviously follows you on this and Twitter and stuff. So everyone gets a buzz. No matter what age you are, everyone gets something from it. Do you know what I mean?
Man, that's it. And kind of like you mentioned kind of a couple of the young lads earlier, but that's the other thing that's brilliant about it is you get lads in their teens, lads in their 20s, all the way up to chaps in their 60s and everything. I think who was there last time? And
Joe McCormick is there, and he's 70, I think, or 71. Yeah, he's coming again Sunday. But there was a particular thing as well. I noticed over COVID. I was coming in the car one evening, and I noticed 1 or 2 young guys from the community who would be really good footballers, like young age. During COVID times, off school, and sort of wandering towards a little bit of antisocial behaviour and stuff. And I was saying to myself, geez, I hope, because these things can happen, they're at an age where they start chasing girls and all that sort of stuff. And I just said to myself, I hope COVID doesn't interrupt them staying with the football and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I reached out to them, and they came to a couple of them came to the last game, and they're coming again this week, and they're bringing 1 or 2 of their mates. So it's keeping everyone involved in the network. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
that's it. It's brilliant. And then, like Mero, you shared in your experience of counselling and everything there as well. Like it's gas, because what Jumpers for Goalposts does is it helps remove a stigma for a start, but it opens gates for people to be able to have these conversations. And and not to blow smoke up your hole or anything like that, but there could be somebody listening who, like, they have a similar experience to you, where they kind of think, I shouldn't be getting counselling. What do I need counselling for? There's people who need it more than me and all that. you sharing your story might just make them think twice for a little bit and go, all right, I'm going to bite the bullet and see how it goes. And that one conversation that they have then could open up a whole path. And it's all through something as simple as Jumpers for Goalposts, facilitating these conversations and letting people hear other people's stories and that kind of thing. It's a ripple effect, lads, and it's brilliant. Like,
absolutely. And another thing as well, if anyone is thinking like you've suggested, like if it's still only over the phone, just still do it. Absolutely still do it.
That's it, man.
Yeah, listen, we all at some stage in our life, possibly yourself for a long time in my life, we all carry baggage that we deserve to put down and walk away from. You know what I mean? Stop carrying shit we don't need to carry. Do you know what I mean? I carried shame for a lot of the time after being stabbed and that because I felt I didn't do enough that night. And the things going on in my head was always, I didn't do enough for my family. I should have been able to protect them more and stuff. Until I went through all that shite of 5 years of total madness. And until someone was able to say to me, when I had a clear mind, now hold on a minute. Someone came into your gaff and you fucking got up and you fucking tackled him. You got him down the stairs. They changed that story in my head. And I did do everything. But for the previous 5 or 6 years, I was carrying all that shame that wasn't mine to carry. So we all carry stuff that we don't deserve to carry, Leave it behind. Look to the future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's mad when you say that. There's a story, and I can't remember if it was yourself or the great Bob Carley that shared a story. And I've used it, I don't know how many times when I'm talking to people about that kind of thing, about letting stuff go, don't beat yourself up over it. And it's that story about the two monks.
The two monks, yeah. It's a classic story, yeah.
Brilliant story. And I've used that, I don't know how many times, because it's so...
It's great visual for people, isn't it, like?
Yeah, and it's also a constant reminder as well of, not beating myself up over things. Because I think, like you said, we all get a little bit of imposter syndrome, or we all do that where we just get inside our own heads a little bit, don't we? We kind of overthink things and the what ifs, or, could I have, and that letting go piece is so important, and giving yourself the space to say, I've done all right, I'm good, like.
Remind people what the two monk story is.
Right, so these two monks, just say, walking through O'Connell Street, they've taken a vow of silence, they haven't spoken in 35 years, pissing rain, they're going through O'Connell Street, and they come to the end of a road, and there's a huge big puddle in the middle of the road. So this woman walks up beside them. So the first monk, monk A picks her up, walks her across the road, over the puddle, and puts her down on the far side, and off she goes. So monk B, curious, keeps looking at him walking across the road, and he says to him, "What do you think you're doing?" He says, "What do you mean?" He says, science, you shouldn't be talking to women or carrying her over there." So he ignored him, and he kept moving. So for 5 streets on, monk B kept going. "Listen, I want to know why you picked her up and you said goodbye to her and this and that." And he said, "Listen, I put her down 5 streets ago. It's about time you did as well." Do you know what I mean? Stop carrying shit that's not ours to carry. Let it go. Do you know what I mean? I carried stuff that just weighed me down. We don't need to carry stuff like that,
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And like that's why in the good thing about Jumpers for Goalposts, because a lot of times sport is competitive. Do you know what I mean? If you're going to the game and you're training twice a week and you're turning up on a Sunday and you're in the dressing room, you don't want to show that vulnerability because the manager won't pick you. You want to get out on the pitch and knock the shit out, lads, and be as tough as you can. Come over to Jumpers for Goalposts. You leave all that on the sideline, mate. Just get out, have the crack. Someone falls over, pick them up, get in there for 10 minutes, jump back out, jump on the sideline, have a chat with someone. And, that's what it's all about, it's just come over, leave the bullshit behind and experience it.
That's it. Leave all the chest puffing out and all that crack.
Yeah.
Leave that.
Yeah, leave your full kits at home as well.
Yeah.
As a result of Jumpers for Goalposts as well, Keith, just before we let you go, I just want to say as well, or just want to bring it up, because you're a fiend for nostalgia, and because of your project, your initiative, Jumpers for Goalposts, you did do a separate project that's on the cusp of being premiered, which is a great documentary about Pierce Rovers. So tell us a bit about that before we let you
tell myself
and again, this happened on the back of Jumpers for Goalposts.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Myself and Michael, we were at a Jumpers for Goalposts event down in Sallynoggin, and it was on actual Pierce Rovers' old pitch, and it was before the old hut, the galvanised hut, was had to be in someone the night before. Someone's had to sit in that forward, and it wasn't in great shape anyway, but it was destroyed completely. But it was the only place they were at. Pierce Rovers had to get new sets of gear, and everything had gone. So I chatted to a couple of the guys after the game, and myself and Mick on the way home. He said, "Look, I don't know, it's nothing we can deal to, help bring a bit of exposure to this, dressing room and stuff." And he said, "Well, let's do a documentary." So of course I said, "Yeah," not thinking what was involved. So we started it just before COVID. So we started meeting a few old guys, Joe Dodd and all, brilliant people. And then COVID kicked in, but we finally have the nuts and bolts of it almost done. Mick has sent me a draft recently. It's class.
Yeah, it's excellent. I've seen.
Got to meet loads of brilliant people, Paul McGrath and all. So we're waiting on our good friend Paul Howard. When he gets them James Bond white chiffon shoes off, he's going to narrate it for us and build a bit of a story in the only way he can. So we're hoping probably 6-8 weeks, and what we want to do is invite the likes of yourselves, everybody who's involved in Jumpers for Goalposts, and special guest Paul McGrath, all these sort of people, to the Lexicon for a special screening.
Deadly. Really? Didn't know that. You didn't have that. Lovely.
That's the plan. And then release it on Mick's YouTube channel. But I'll tell you, it's a brilliant story. And throughout COVID, Danny, what I forgot to mention with Jumpers for Goalposts, because we were doing this, I was phoning old geezers who I didn't know, trying to get their stories, never telling me about a photograph, and they would drift off like Ronnie Corbett in the chair and veer off. 2 hours later, I'd say, "Can we get back to the picture?" But it was brilliant because it was possibly the only person they'd been speaking to all day. But I love all the nostalgia, because a lot of them were mentioning my dad and Graham's uncles and stuff like that from the past, and I love that. So even that through Jumpers for Goalposts, Jumpers for Goalposts has created so much stuff that people don't understand in the background. It's been totally worthwhile,
Absolutely, yeah. I'm
really
looking forward to that Pierce Rovers documentary as well.
When is that going to be out, Keith? January?
No, well before that. We're just waiting on Mr. Howard to get his skates on.
So January?
No, it's nuts and bolts. It's all nailed down now. Mick sent me a recent draft. I can't tell you how good it is.
Is it a draft with Paul doing the narration?
No, Mick's doing the narration on this one.
The one I've seen.
Yeah.
But it's
perfect. A full 50 minutes, and he's added all photographs that we've collected from people. It's become a huge community project. Like, everyone's got involved.
Deadly.
Mick Nolan has done a great job, really. And I can't wait for everyone to see it, and then I can't wait to leave it alone and walk away.
Brilliant. You've done a lot of work on it, so I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, same. Keith, as always, man, it's been great chatting to you, and it's been great seeing you, albeit through a camera.
Yeah, and you, Dan.
But hopefully, if this test comes back negative, hopefully I'll be able to pop along on Sunday.
Wait till the next one.
It's off, Danny, will you?
Yeah.
It'll be the first that I try to hug, don't worry.
No, because, you've sort of moved up far afield now. There's, as you said earlier on, there's geezers in Tesco's recognising from Gogglebox and all. We don't need you out here, distracting the supporters. No way.
Look, I have an internal desire for attention, right? There'll be legitimate celebrities and famous football.
Round be your agent.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to leave there with more selfies taken with fans than Stephanie Roach. That's my so yeah, but
no, it's been great, lads. Cheers for asking us on, And Graham, you're every much as part of Jumpers with Goalposts as myself, you know what I mean? So don't ever forget that,
Not at all. You're the founder. You do everything.
No, I don't do everything.
You just tell me a date. You just ask me to do things, and I do it.
And you do it, yeah. So do you know what I mean? You're every much as part of it as well. And Danny will get at the premiere of the Pierce Rover story. Danny will get a Diet 7 Up. You'll be on the champers.
I'm all right with a Diet 7 Up, man. I'll bring my own vodka and slip it in. But yeah, no, Keith, as I said, absolute pleasure. So this Sunday,
11 o'clock. And there's also
Danny, when is this released? On Saturday?
It'll be out either Friday evening or Saturday morning. Yeah, gonna edit it quickly.
So in a day or two.
And there's also a game.
The 9th of October, is it?
10th.
10th, sorry, the 10th of October.
But there's also a game, lads, of Jumpers for Goalposts in Kilcock, out in Bonhouse, the home of Kilcock Celtic FC, at 11:30. And there's Graham, your mates from the Pride of Rings End, they were on to me earlier on, they're coming out to Ballybrack on Sunday.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. So there'd be a good mixture of north side, south side, inner city, so
we're expecting a good crowd on Sunday.
We're expecting a good crowd, yeah. Get your brother up out of bed before you leave home.
A better chance of me walking over to the Enfield of a Sunday to get Carl up at that hour.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
And people can also jump onto the Jumpers for Goalposts social media and the Facebook page and everything else, and they can find details of Gary's series for our Mondello cycle there as well.
Yeah, we'll post it up as well. And you can... Keith is at Keith Kelly 97 on Twitter, so follow Keith for all the latest Jumpers for Goals. And Keith's all right to follow as well when he's not
cheeky sod.
when he's not giving out about the Gunners.
You won't mention the Gunners,
he's great when he's giving praise to Rovers, because he appreciates.
When we initially started out, the very first Thomas Kamanya podcast, I don't know how many years ago, and I said I'd try and experience League of Ireland football, because when I was playing football, it was mostly Sundays and I couldn't go and stuff like that. So I've been with Graham for the last number of years, and it's been absolutely magic.
We've great nights, don't we?
Oh, Jesus. Danny, you don't know what you're missing, bro.
Especially with Arzo and Carl with their cans at the back of the car.
There's two different worlds going on.
That's you and Graham over the front solving all the world problems. Two lads just trying to neck the can.
Two lads necking the cans, trying to see when they can get their next drink before the match.
Yeah, and it's no, Keith, I'm not dropping you home yet. I'm dropping the lads back to the Oigo after. And it's great to see balls so low in the league table.
All right, that's all the time we have this week, lads.
Yeah.
Fantastic. They're closer to relegation than they are to us. It's amazing.
Yeah, as I said to you, Mero, I'm not even confident the top 5 anymore.
Yeah, great to see. Anyways, he's at Danjo Murray. I'm at Merrigan Mania. If you want to look at or want to listen to any of our previous podcasts, it's search WTS Pod on any podcast provider. And we're at WTSpod.com, and we're at WTS Pod on Twitter as well. As I said, he's Danjo Murray on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Merrigamania on Instagram and Twitter. Keith, are you at Keith Kelly 97 on Instagram as well?
I am indeed. No, 1969.
At Keith Kelly 1969.
1969, yeah.
Perfect. Until next time. Thanks, Keith.
Clear eyes.
Clear eyes. Full hearts. Can't lose.
This later, boys.